The NDP are meddling in the freedom of information process here in Alberta. This time they're having the freedom of information requests filed by opposition parties and journalists like myself monitored and examined by Alberta Justice. Now, this was all revealed in an internal Alberta Justice email that CBC News received in a freedom of information document dump. The email reads, "My ADM," that means Assistant Deputy Minister, "Gerald Lamoureux has advised me that the Ministry's office would like to receive a copy of records release packages for access to information requests made by opposition parties and the media." Amazing. The Justice Minister, Kathleen Gainley, says they do this only for informational purposes. What kind of Orwellian baloney is that? Informational purposes? Questions from political enemies are being surveilled by allegedly nonpartisan government bureaucrats at the behest of the Minister of Justice. How else are the NDP watching Albertans for? Informational purposes. Now, why would the NDP want to know what requests are coming in and where they're coming from? Is it to formulate the official government spin before journalists like me find out what we're looking for and try to hold the government to account? Is it so that the NDP can cook up their useless non-answers for question period in response to whatever the opposition parties may find out in those damning documents? Finding out what people are looking for gives the government a head start on their spin, their cover-ups, and all their deflection. It's so snoopy and so dishonest. I mean, if the government isn't up to no good, then why do they care what questions are coming in and who's asking them? I guess this is how the NDP figure out which freedom of information requests of mine to slap those big bills onto. They know in advance which questions I'm asking and which ones are going to be damning, so they charge us several thousands of dollars to deter us. But I think this is the very best response from an opposition party about the vetting of those freedom of information requests. This person said he has sent a letter to the Privacy Commissioner, Jill Clayton, asking that she conduct a broader review to ensure the independence of the freedom of information process and to ensure it has not been compromised. This person said, "We want to make sure that documents aren't disappearing and they're not changing the story as a result of the freedom of information request." This person also said the government abandoned construction of a secret taxpayer-funded penthouse suite for Alison Redford on top of a government building after a freedom of information request was filed. Do you want to know what person said all those things? It was NDP leader at the time and current Transportation Minister Brian Mason way back in 2014, when the PCs were also vetting and examining freedom of information requests so they could pre-craft their responses. It took the PCs 44 years to turn into the corrupt, secretive PCs of old. It took the NDP like 40 minutes. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid.